Alright, so I just beat my first Master System game today, and that was Phantasy Star. Unfortunately, I don't own a Master System or the cartridge, so, I had to play it on an emulator. But, just a fantastic RPG. Great start to the series, which I'm going to tell you about right now. So, the story starts off with Alice's brother, Nero. He's lying face down on the ground, and, as he's dying, his last words to Alice are to find Odin, and he will help her defeat the evil tyrant Lassic. And there isn't too much more story after that. You get a little bit of story when you get a new character in your party, but that's about it, and of course the ending. But, I can't really fault the game for that. Nowadays it'd be a really pathetic story, but back then, I'm sure it was just a great story. And, I did enjoy what little of it there was. Now, starting off, this game is pretty challenging, and for two reasons. One, when you start off, you're Alice and you're by yourself. There are, of course, enemies outside of the town that you can fight, but you kind of have to be careful about where you go. Stay out of the woods and stuff, because there are some higher level enemies in there, and you basically have to just run outside, fight a few scorpions, run back to town, heal up, go outside, repeat until you're like level 5 or 6, and hopefully by then you have some money for some stronger equipment too. And then you can, start exploring the woods and start traveling a little farther away from the town, and, exploring the other towns on the map. The second reason is because very early on you'll kind of hit a wall of, you can see there's 4 or 5 things that you need to do, but you can't figure out how exactly to do it. And it is a little frustrating, and then eventually you do figure it out, and you're like, and once you do that, everything snowballs and you can start doing all these other tasks. What that exactly is that triggers that, I won't say. We'll leave it a secret. But yeah, once you do that, you get your second party member, who is called Meow, and he's a cat-like creature, and his name is spelled M-Y-A-U, Meow. And then you guys go back to the homeworld of Palma, and then you can free Odin from Medusa's cave, and Odin's kind of like your strong attacker. He doesn't have any magic points. Meow is a kind of your party healer. Alice has pretty decent attack. She has a little bit of magic here and there. She has like a heal spell, and then a fire spell, and some other useful stuff. And then your fourth party member that you get later on is Noah, who is like your black mage. She has a fire, wind, thunder spells. And Simon wants to say hi. Okay. See you later, Simon. Anyways, yeah, you do get 4 party members, and it's classic turn-based combat. You don't really use magic too much, which is kind of a drawback. You want to save all your magic points for the boss battles. And you do have a world, or 3 world maps you can explore, actually. You have your home world of Palma. Excuse me if I get any of these names wrong. There's also this kind of desert world of Motavia. And then there's the third planet, which is an ice planet called Dazorus, which is a huge pain in the butt. Basically, to get anywhere on Dazorus, you have to go in these caves and tunnels, to get to a town, because the towns are underground. So you have to go in tunnels, which have monsters, and, you want to heal, you have to do that. And then to travel anywhere to, any of the dungeons on Dazorus, you have to go through this network of caves. And there's 4 caves, and then there's Twin Town, and then there's, a cave up here, and there's a dungeon here, and there's, it's just a huge pain in the butt. And once you're done with that planet, you are so glad to leave. Before I get too far into this, though, I want to talk about the dungeons, because the dungeons are excellent. they are actually 3D dungeons, and really cool for a game this old to have something which I'm sure was quite innovative at the time. The dungeons, they are really plain. There's nothing really that kind of marks, where you're going. They're all just like, straight brick designs. Based on what planet you're on, you do get different colored dungeons. But yeah, they're really cool. And what I really love about it is the battles in the 3D dungeons. They're so seamless. Like, you're just walking around and then an enemy appears on the screen, and within a second you're selecting battle commands. It's just flows really well. And one thing I forgot to mention with the battles is that you only ever have one type of enemy on the screen, and no matter if you have, one monster or 8, it's only going to show the one enemy sprite on the screen, which, I'm okay with. It's an old game. I'm sure they had limited resources to work with and everything. The one downside to that, though, is you cannot target what specific enemy you want to fight. So basically you just select attack or magic or whatever, and then you hope that all your party members attack the same enemy, so you can whittle down their numbers instead of just dealing like an even amount of damage to all the enemies. Musically, this game has an excellent soundtrack. It is a very small soundtrack, but very good. One downside, though, is that I wish the Master System had the FM sound chip that the Japanese version did, because a friend of mine showed me a video comparing the soundtracks from the American and the Japanese release, and wow, the Japanese release has some amazing sounding music. And nothing against the American version, but it's like your typical 8-bit beeps and boops. But yeah, really enjoyable soundtrack. I especially love the dungeon themes in the game. And graphically, the game looks gorgeous for an 8-bit game. Really nice enemy designs. There is a lot of like palette swapping with the enemies, but again, it's an old game. What can you do? But yeah, really nice animations. The worlds are really bright and vibrant. Same with the towns. And yeah, just a really nice looking game. One thing that's really annoying, I had to use a walkthrough for this game because some of the dungeons they're really confusing, and then there's some stuff you're just never going to figure out on your own. For example, the final dungeon. Now you get into this dungeon and you're walking around and you just find nothing. And you're like, well, where the hell do I go? And when you look in the walkthrough, you see that, oh, you're supposed to turn a corner, walk 3 steps forward, and then, the walls on the sides of you, they're just straight bricks. They don't show anything. But after you take 3 steps, you turn to the left, and suddenly a door will appear. And unless you're walking 1 step and turning to each side, with every step in the dungeon, there's just no way for you to know that. And there's a few false walls and stuff that you can walk through where you have to do basically the same thing. You walk a few steps and then you turn and go forward. So that's a little bit annoying. But yeah, aside from those minor complaints, it was a very excellent game. Once you get the more party members in your party, it's not that difficult. About 25 hours long, so not too bad. Pretty good length for an old game like this. And I really enjoyed the hell out of it. Looking forward to playing Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. Well, maybe not 3. I know everybody rags on that game. 4 looks amazing. I have played a little bit of 2. I'm gonna start with that one shortly after this video. And yeah, that'll do it. If you haven't played the game, definitely check it out. I think it's on the Wii Virtual Console, probably Wii U as well. You can emulate it. You can find the cart, but it's like $50, I think. So that might not be an option for everyone. And yeah, that'll do it. So great game. Fantastic RPG, great start to the series, and thank you very much for watching, and stay Bawesome.